I chose the topic transition, even though I talked about it as the last service last year. And the reason I did that was because we are having as much, and if not more, transitions. When you came in this morning, you noticed that there's no more scaffolding outside. We are going to have an installation for Reverend Beau, and that means that we've asked her to stay on. When the committee hired her, she said she really wanted to be at a place for 5 to 10 years, that's what she really wanted. When we tried to hire somebody through the UUA, they told us that we could only get a contract minister for our size, that nobody would want to come. Well, Michelle, is it Michelle DeBona? Danielle DeBona. She was her mentor, and so she called her and said, they're going to put on their website this. You should apply here because I think the two of you would be a wonderful fit. So we decided that we wanted to hire her full-time now. I mean, Jim, the president of, that used to be the president of our board, he said, you definitely want to do this because you don't want to spend a whole year looking for somebody new and to have her looking around all during her second year. And so how can she be really present? So it's really good that we made that decision to do that. So we also hired a new music director. And from all that I hear, he is going to be spectacular. He looks like he's 2 years old, but he's been playing apparently since he was 6 years old. He begged his parents, who were lawyers, and they just said, no, you don't want to study music. But he begged, and the minister at his church taught him. We're also going to get a new sexton. And so there's lots of transitions that we're going to have. So I decided that I wanted to relook at the topic. This church truly matters to me. Next to my family and health and well-being, it's the greatest priority I have, and I have watched its many phases over the years. And we have had so many changes, and we've managed to get through them all, and we've grown in very wonderful ways. And during the process, I have also learned many tools. And so I'm going to share a few different ones today. And in case I don't give you enough in here, I found two things that I keep on the back door as I enter into my kitchen. 25 Secrets to Happiness and 36 proven stress relievers. So you can certainly give it at the end of the service. I didn't want to give it to you during the service because I didn't want you looking at it while I was telling you the things that I am trying to learn. I believe the tools that I share today will benefit all of us in becoming authentic and capable, to becoming our authentic and capable selves. Okay, now I go back to what I had. Change is something that comes from without, and I spent a lot of time last year telling you that. But transition comes from within. And so only we can make that happen. Nobody else can make transition possible, only ourselves. However, when we ourselves transition and grow, collectively, we do our own work. As we do our own work, the whole church becomes a more positive way, as well as the whole world. Thoughts run through our brains. It is essential that we have quiet time and meditation time to filter what is and what is not important. There is a book entitled, Don't Believe Everything You Think. Some stuff we need to let go of, so there is space for the exceptional. Kyle Gray, a New York Times best-selling author and spiritual leader, has said, "Today I have space for miracles. I recognize that it's not how big a miracle is that's important, but how much room I create for it." Empty space within our brains is so important. We don't want to be like the scholar that went to the Zen master seeking enlightenment. His brain was so filled with his own thoughts that he was invited by the master to go home until he was opened enough to receive what he was looking for. If there is to be creation, there must be space. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the great German 19th century philosophers who revolutionized the way we view morality and religion, would take long walks and jot down his insights while he was taking the stroll. Albert Einstein similarly would play the violin when he was encountering a difficulty, and the answer would spontaneously come to him from quieting the mind and creating space for inspiration to flow. We too, when we slow ourselves down before opening ourselves up, can delight in what comes forth. It's important that we surround ourselves with like-minded, positive people. It helps having joyful family and friends. I had a close friend that had a dysfunctional family. He often talked about his family of choice. That works. When I used to host big Thanksgiving gatherings, I always used to begin grace by saying, and some of you know this because you were there at my house, I am grateful for family who have become friends and friends who have become extended family. In a sermon on grief I gave decades ago, I quoted an article in Psychology Today which suggested how wonderful it would be if we could go to the supermarket and purchase a bottle of joy the way we do a bottle of dish detergent. When our mind is full of the way things were done in the past, there is no room for what can come from our collective brainstorming. We begin to look at the clarity and the riches that come from brainstorming, and we tend to open increasingly more. We often make a choice to engage in a larger and larger circle of involvement. As we continue with our quietude, we become more awake and aware, and know that we do not ever have to be alone unless we want to be. I mean, sometimes somebody needs to be alone. But for the most part, we grow when we're together. As we transitioned last year, our insurance company refused to carry us unless we made some major changes. We were very fortunate that our building committee, who are, they're almost all here, Alan, Rick, and Norm, to take on a campaign to raise funds to pay the cost and get a company to do the necessary repairs. They were amazing. They were all masters in their area of expertise. But they didn't do it alone. We had to respond. They invited us to contribute, and within a short period of time, we did exceptionally well. We shut out the disempowering thoughts, we can never afford whatever that's going to be. This kind of courage comes from real clarity. Part of being able to grow in our personal lives and within our roles in the church is to be opened and engaged with healing. If we but open our eyes, there is so much action we can take. If there is a particular interest I have that when I listen to those around me could matter to them, how quickly do I validate it? As I design my life, give up vagueness, my goals become precise, and it ups the possibility of their becoming actualized. It is useful to go all in. But sometimes we will zigzag. Have I begun to see the challenges in my life as gifts? They were pivotal points, growth opportunities, and the days of awakening right before everything changed. We must take full responsibility for our lives. Mastery is realizing that we are fully equipped with the exact traits we need to overcome the hardships before us. And that is the ultimate calling of our lives. We are not only capable, but we're destined. If we want to change the world, we must change ourselves. If we want the church to excel, then we must. Life is simply about the journey with lessons to be learned along the way. Like what was shared from Nemo a couple of weeks ago, it matters not whether what shows up in our lives or the church is problematic, challenging, or filled with ease. It is there to teach us. By being able to let go of our preconceived notions of how things should be, we are so much better off than we were before. In the book, The Mountain Is You, the author has the belief that what is right for us will come to us and stay with us and not stray from our being for long. When something is right, we have clarity. And when it's not, we have confusion. We get stuck when we try to make something that was wrong for us right, or try to put something into a place where it doesn't belong. We get split. We breed an internal conflict which cannot resolve. Fantasy life and delusion can be compelling. What is not right for us does not remain with us because we finally will have to choose it. We let go when we are ready and able. Throughout this talk, I have tried to remind us of some tools to help us as we transition. Number one, it's important that we all slow down and take quiet time or meditation time. We are very fortunate. Diane Reed kind of leads a meditation group on Wednesdays from 4 to 5. And I try to get there whenever I can. And it's a really nice group, and Holly's there too. I like the energy that comes when it just feels so much more powerful, even though you're sitting in silence. Number two, community is essential. We need help and shouldn't try to accomplish most things alone. We talked about, at the parish committee, we talked about the importance of having co-chairs for many of our committees because you would always get the support of another. 3, we do not need to pay attention to every thought that goes through our minds. It takes courage to acquire clarity. 4, everything that occurs in our lives has the capacity to teach us. 5, actualizing our full potential is the task before us, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs to become fully ourselves is wonderful. To become masters, we will take radical and complete responsibility for our lives. We have to claim it. We must create it. Our mastery creates an invisible ripple effect on our family, our friends, our church, and finally, our world. What we learn along the journey will stay with us forever. May it be so.